Hey, y'all. Good evening, and happy new year. Happy new year, everyone. Oh my goodness, I'm your girl, Jackie O, and welcome back to Motivational Monday with me, your girl, Jackie O. I don't know if y'all have missed me, but listen, I have missed you guys. I have missed being online and hearing what y'all have going on. So I really hope that you had a great holiday weekend. Well, not just a holiday weekend, but a great holiday, Christmas holiday, New Year's, and you all are ready to get going. I know that y'all set those goals. We're not going to talk about the resolutions, right? But we're going to talk about goals. So I know that y'all set your goals and you are ready to go. And we have a show in store for you on tonight. So listen, let us know that you are in the building. Let us know that you are watching, where you are watching us, where you're watching from. Oh, hey, my sister Brenda's on. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for everybody that is tuned in on this evening. Again, we are super excited that you all are back and that we're back. Oh, yes, that we're back. So listen, again, we have an amazing show ahead of us today. We're going to be talking about setting goals and sticking to them. We know sometimes that could be a little challenging. So we're going to talk about that on tonight with our special guest, Janáe Michelle. And let me tell you something new that we have just added. Hey, Cheska, thank you so much. All right, Cheska's in the building. Listen, these are our comment streets. That's what we've named it, the comment streets. So if y'all are watching, please put in the comment streets that you are here, where you're watching from. We want to know. And also let us know, what have y'all been doing these past couple of months that we've been gone? We want to know too. We're a little nosy. So yes, but we're doing something different on tonight because our show is 45 minutes. It's a 45-minute show. And we know that you may have questions and comments, and we want to still be able to connect with you. So we're going to have an after party. Y'all know the after parties, honey. Y'all know how them after parties be. They be like all the way live. So we're having an after party tonight, immediately after our show, with our special guest, Janáe Michelle. So we hope that you guys hang on in with us. All right, we got Freddie Floyd in the house all the way from San Antonio. Hey. But y'all, if you're ready for this show to get started, because we are ready, go ahead and tap the hearts, hit the likes, and let us know as I'm getting ready to bring onto the virtual stage our very special guest, Janáe Michelle. Let me tell you a little bit about Janáe before I bring her on. She is a trained chef. She is a human resource manager and a content creator. Over the last few years, her passion has shifted to helping women with their fitness and health journeys. This shift came from Janáe starting her own journey and losing over 125 pounds with exercising and changing her diet. It's a lifestyle change, y'all. We're going to talk about that. Now, Janáe Michelle shares online with over 75,000 followers on Instagram and 3,500 on YouTube, her goals and her journey. And at 45, starting at 391 pounds, Janáe is a true testament to everyone that you can do it. Right? Here we go. Welcome to our stage, Miss Janáe Michelle. Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much. That was such a beautiful intro. I was like, is that me?
Yes, girl, that is you. That is you. How are you this evening?
I am great and blessed and happy to be here. Excited for the conversation tonight. I'm excited to be a part of Motivational Mondays with Miss Jackie O.
Oh, well, thank you. Listen, I hope that you had a great holiday. You know, you and I have connected and we've chatted a little bit before tonight's show. And I just absolutely love you, Janáe, and your spirit and just your whole mission of helping women and, helping them to be healthy and to live their best and authentic life.
Absolutely.
So much for that.
Well, thank you so much. And I must say, our recent connections, I have such a love for you, and I'm just grateful to be here and be a part of this, and to see this come. I mean, and to know where you started and where you're at and where you are going. I'm
Yes,
just happy to
yes.
be along the ride.
Thank you again. And thank you to all of our viewers that are coming in. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And if you were late getting on, let me just tell you, we are going to be, if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comment section and we will be answering as many as we can. But we are going to have an after party live on our IG page, and you'll follow us on Jacquie O. And we will be continuing this conversation. We will actually even invite some of you online with us to ask your questions and to interact with us. So listen, y'all, stay tuned. Come on, follow us on over to Instagram for the after party, because y'all know the after party is always hopping.
Hey now.
It's always popping, as they say. So we're going to hop right into it. And Janáe, I gave you the introduction, but go ahead and just share with us your journey and how you started on this wellness journey that you're on.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. And once again, my name is Janáe Michelle. This journey actually started for me several years ago. When I first started just, I guess, content creating and building a platform, I've always had a heart for women. I've always wanted to just do something that was helping, encouraging, motivating. And so when I actually started with natural hair and makeup. That was like my big thing. But it was like one of those situations where I was, using YouTube, I was using my blog and things like that, but it wasn't growing as quickly as I wanted to, but I still had a beautiful just community. So I was happy. And then jump forward a few years, I gone through a divorce, I had gained some weight, I was going through a lot, and went to my doctor, found out that I was 391 pounds, found out I was diabetic with high cholesterol. I just knew I had to make a change. And so I started documenting my own fitness journey just to kind of be accountable to myself. And then, I mean, honestly, from the first time I posted a picture, it just was like I had women who were like, I'm on the journey too. And what are you doing? And how are you doing this? And like each day it just grew. And I started to be like, so wait a minute, is this where I'm supposed to be? Because it was just supposed to be like a personal journey, but it was becoming more than that because I was able to reach and connect with so many women. And I took a minute and I had a conversation with God, and I was led to continue down this path. And it was not only to continue to do my own personal journey, but I knew that it became a purpose. It became the reason that I continue to do it. So in this season, my goal is to reach and connect and motivate and encourage women who have struggled with weight loss, who have struggled with diabetes or high cholesterol or just health issues that have to do with their weight, because I've been there, I've gone through it, and I want to be as transparent and open and honest as possible in ways that I hope that can connect and motivate someone else to start their journey and continue to not only start but make this a lifestyle, as you said earlier, because that was the big thing for me, was changing this into a lifestyle. It went from trying to lose weight to get healthy to being like, no, I need to make this a lifestyle, so this is who I am from this point on. So
I love it. I love it. I absolutely love how you talked about the transparency and where you started, because a lot of times, especially on when we see social media, we see the end result of
Yeah.
people, and we never really see the beginning and the transparency of it and the struggles that they may have along the way. And I know that I follow you, and a lot of your posts, you might say, hey, listen, I'm not having a great day today, I was struggling today. And And that's okay, that we're not going to always have great days and everything is not going to always be perfect. And you will have those days. And so I really love that when you said about the transparency, because you're living it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're living it. And when you found out about when you went to the doctor, you found out your health issues and the different things, because life happens, like I've gone through a divorce and it was the opposite with me. I lost weight and then I didn't need to lose weight. But, but everyone is different on how they and their journeys. But life happens. And in the life that as it's happening, then things happen with us. And that was another thing that you shared is you went through a divorce and you gained weight. So were you more of a emotional eater, I guess, at that point?
Yes,
Okay.
I
All right.
definitely was. I think I learned, like, it's so funny, like, now that I've been on this journey before, I think I know the triggers now. I can see them now that I've been on the journey long enough, but, before I started this journey, I didn't really know those triggers, and so, looking back, it was like, yeah, when I'm just an emotional eater, so it could be something that's sad, I wanna eat. It could be in a celebration, I wanna eat. Like, but that time in my life was a very long period of being sad and kind of re redefining who I was and not even sure who that person was yet. And so during that time, I gained a lot of weight, but I love the fact that I can be transparent about it, because I think the same thing that you said earlier, like when I started this journey, I didn't see that. I saw the end result for a lot of people. And when you're on a journey, when you're just starting, that can be discouraging, because it's like that seems so far off. It's like, well, when will I get there? But when you have somebody that can be open and honest and be like, look, I struggled, I didn't eat, I did do this, I didn't do that, it makes you feel like, okay, it's not just me, I'm not alone in this journey. And it makes it a little bit easier to go through those steps.
Yeah, yeah. That is so so true. And I think transparency in everything, especially when we are talking about reaching others and being an impact, it is so so important, because I feel that people, they need to know that they're not alone, as
Mhm.
what you just stated, that there is someone else out there that is doing or going through the same thing that they're going through. And so, as you were getting ready to go on this journey, you had to set some goals and you had to get some things in place. Take us along that journey of how that happened for you.
So the one thing I knew about this journey when I started was I knew it had to be different than anything I've done before, because I've done the weight loss, diets and gained it all back plus some. I've tried to do the intermittent fasted, the crash dieting, and it just didn't seem like it was sustainable for me. So this time around, I took a long, hard time to think about it, and it was like, okay, what can I do differently this time around that I haven't done before? And the thing that I did before was I always focused on the food. Like the food was always like, okay, you can't eat that, you can't eat that, you have to eat salads, you have to eat that. And I was like, I don't want to live like that, because what ended up happening the first time was I would deny myself, like my favorite food is tacos. I would deny myself, some tacos, and then what would happen? I would binge on tacos. And so it's like it defeated the purpose. So this time around, the goals that I set for myself were, we are going to not focus on the diet per se, where I don't want to find like a keto diet or a paleo diet or nothing like that. I was like, no, you're a trained chef. You know what to eat. You
Mhm.
know fresh foods and fresh vegetables and lean meats. And so I started to incorporate that, but I didn't deprive myself of the things that I loved. And so I would just do those in moderation. Maybe Taco Tuesday was literally Taco Tuesday. That's when I had tacos. I didn't have tacos Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, which happens in the past.
Uh-huh.
And so it started with that. And then with the workouts, it literally was, I'm gonna be honest with you, when I first started working out, only thing I was able to do was the treadmill. But my goal was 30 minutes, 4 to 5 times a week. And I was like, that's your goal, 30 minutes, 4 to 5 times a week. And I remember the first day I stepped on the treadmill, I did not last 5 minutes. And I was in tears in the gym, because I felt like everybody was looking at me. But in that moment, I was like, okay, well, you know what? We just did 5 minutes, do 6. And so that's been my thing ever since. It's like, I'm set big goals, but in those big goals, there's mini goals. So like, if I want to run a mile, I'm going to do a quarter of a mile today. And then I'm going to add a couple extra steps tomorrow. And then I'm going to add a couple, because like, to me, I found that to be much easier and more sustainable for me, because this time around, I started this journey in May of 2019, and setting the goals with the food, setting the goals with my fitness has allowed me to not only continue to lose weight, but it's helped me to maintain. I haven't gained much weight back. If anything, I've continued to lose over 3 years, but that's been a steady go. I didn't crash diet or anything like that. I changed my eating habits. I started to work out slowly but surely, and I just do that consistently. So my goals are, honestly, I had big goals in the beginning, and now I kind of set mini goals, like monthly, quarterly, because that works. Now I'm noticing like that works a little bit more. It works better for me now. But in the beginning, setting that kind of 30 minutes, 4 to 5 times a week, and then putting together, and as a chef, and I know that this isn't everybody's, forte, but as a chef, I was able to grocery shop and know fresh fruits, fresh veggies, lean meats, and then taking away stuff that in the house that I knew weren't good for me. So I took away chips, but I replaced them with things that I like a lot. So now I'm more like, give me some hummus, some cucumber, because I get my crunchy, I still get my flavor. Like, I've learned to replace a lot of the things that I would just keep around the house. But as I said earlier, at the same time, I don't deprive myself. I still, if I want some chips, I'll have some chips, because I know that if I have it now, I won't have 20 bags tomorrow.
Like having all the chips. I love it. And we have some comments. Mini goals. Someone said, Cheska, mini goals. I like it. Brenda, I like that you said realistic goals. When we set unrealistic goals, we sabotage ourselves at times. And I love both of those comments and what you said about mini goals, because I'm just going to be honest with me. I start a diet, lifestyle change, whatever you want to call it, every Monday. Okay. And my parents, they'll call me, be like, as a matter of fact, just yesterday at church, after church, my mom said, okay, did you start your diet last week? Every week I'm making a change. But I know the reason why I really have not stuck with it is a couple of things. Discipline. I really need to have discipline. And the other thing is I never really put goals in place, right? I'm just kind of willy-nilly it. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go to the gym and do that. But I really like the goal aspect of it, because and we know to set goals, right, for everything else. But when it comes to this, it's just as important if we want to be successful in our, healthy journey, our wellness journey. And so I really like that about setting the mini goals, because I went to the gym yesterday after church. And so I got on the treadmill and I did 30 minutes, because I said, okay, I'm going to do 30 minutes today. And then I like how we can just keep increasing it and increasing the time. And before you know it, you can be on the treadmill 45 minutes, an hour, over an hour. And because you have set those goals and you're sticking to them. So I really like that. And I think when you have the goals, it helps you to set you up for success.
Agreed.
For you to, as someone had stated, for you to achieve whatever the goals are that you have put in place.
Agreed. And I know that, and I know we have goals that we set, and I will probably say, I know we're going to kind of touch base on this, but when you set a goal, you then have to make sure you set up that habit, because that was the thing that I think was important for me, is like setting up that habit. So for those that, I don't know if anybody has read James Clear, Atomic Habits, but it's one of my favorite books. And one of the stories in there is a story of a guy that he tells him, go to the gym for 5 minutes every day. And the guy is kind of like, why would I go to the gym for 5 minutes? He was like, it's not about you working out. It's about you creating the habit of going to the gym. And so the guy was like, okay. So like the first few days, he would do the 5 minutes. But then of course, after a few days, you're kind of like, okay, I wasted gas, energy. I'm here. Let me go on and walk on the treadmill. Let me go ahead and do this. A year later, this man had lost over 100 pounds because he made just going to the gym a habit. So it's like, even the smallest habit can create a big goal. It can, get you to your bigger goal. So think about that. If someone told you to go to the gym for 5 minutes every day, you would probably look at them like they were crazy. But look at this story where this guy did that. And of course, once he got there, it was at a certain point, you're going to be there and you're going to work out. But just imagine just creating the habit. So think about that. Take the smallest part and build on that. And that would create a habit and you'll be good to go. I think that's one of the most important things about your goals is definitely putting that habit in place.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. Let's see here. Let's see. Brenda said SMART. And so SMART stands for Pacific, Measurable, Achievable, Realistic, and Timely. So yes, that is absolutely good. Felicia is an emotional eater, so she truly understands. And she said, this is so helpful. She's taking notes. All right, beautiful Felicia. And yeah, everyone is just saying that they love it. So that is true about creating that habit. And so I like how you said that as well, creating the habit. So listen, we are going to take a quick commercial break and as well as a segment because we have a short segment of you, Janáe Michelle, sharing with us some of your workouts. And we're going to talk about the workouts and we're going to talk a little bit about the food. And you hinted a little bit already earlier, but we're going to just talk a little bit more about that when we come back from our commercial break. So I hope you guys are enjoying it. We have some people on here saying that this is so inspiring. They're loving it. All right. So we'll be back right after this short commercial break.
Yours, mine, ours. I can do this for hours. Sit and talk to you for hours. I wanna give you your flowers. Some champagne showers. Or the shrimp and lobster towels.
Join me, your girl, Jacquie O, and my special guest, Janáe Michelle, as we continue our conversation for Motivational Monday at the After Party, live on our IG page at Jacquie O. See you then.
All righty. Girl, we saw you getting it in.
I was laughing. I was like,
man, listen, I love that you have a home gym. Like it is right there. So you basically have no excuse not to work.
I don't. But it's also, I started the journey in May of 2019. Okay. So by March 2020, we were in COVID and I had to pivot. And I'm not gonna lie, that pivot was, I didn't know what to do in that pivot, to be honest with you. There's a couple weeks in there where if you see my videos and stuff like that on Instagram, you'll be like, yeah, she was not sure what to do. Cause it was like, I was so used to the gym and now I had to transition all of that to home. But now working out at home is one of my favorite things. Like the gym is just like, a great time with friends or if there's machines or something that I don't have. But yeah, I love having a home gym. And you're absolutely right. I feel guilty if I have to walk past it and I haven't worked out.
I might need to put a home gym in my house. So I won't have no excuse not to go to the gym. So we talked a little bit about being disciplined and creating that habit. And of course you have the home gym and we saw some of your workouts that you do. And we talked about setting the goals. now we want to talk about just sticking to them. And so we know that when we set them, of course, and we set realistic goals, it's a little bit easier for us to stick to them. But were there times when you were just like, okay, no, I'm just not going to do this today or today?
Yes, that definitely happens. I think it's so funny. I get the question all the time. Is people always ask me, how do I stay motivated? And I feel like it's in that same situation. I am not always motivated. I don't always, like, even with the goals that I have written down, I'm not always happy about doing them or going through it, or even in today's workout. Like today, I was just not mentally there. But it was like one of those things that I literally, during workouts or during those moments, it's like I'm learning to almost take a beat in the moment and kind of do a self-evaluation and a self-talk, because someone mentioned self-sabotage earlier. I was the queen of self-sabotage for a very long time. And I've noticed that if I miss a day, I am more easily to miss the second day. And then that just becomes a snowball effect. And so me putting together those goals is important to me, but I guess I'm learning to give myself grace as well, but also know that one of the things that I put to myself is I never miss 2 days in a row, because I know that but if I miss that second day, it's much easier for me to miss the third, fourth, and fifth. But if I don't miss 2 days, so I can work out today, not work out tomorrow, work out the next day. I can do it that way, working out every other day. But as long as I don't miss 2 days in a row, I seem to be more consistent. So just putting those little kind of safeguards in place for yourself, I think, is important. And it really depends on you, kind of like what works best for you. Because I know for me, I love working out in the mornings. And so that's when I have my best energy. That's when I'm more motivated. And so a morning workout is best. If you try and have me come work out with you in the evening, you're going to be disappointed, because I'm going to be your friend that talks to you while you're working out. Yeah. I just don't have the energy. So I think finding those things that work for you and then building your goals and your habits around that, because you really have to learn who you are. And I think that's what I had to do during this journey, is like, from before, it was, like I said, I would do crash dieting. I would hurry up and walk on a treadmill at a 20 incline at a high speed just to lose weight quickly. But then I would end up gaining it all right back. And so now I've been able to kind of find those things that work, and I stick with those things. Like I'm a creature of habit. And if it works, it works. Now, don't get me wrong. I'll make the tweaks as necessary, but I am definitely somebody that I'll find something that works and I stick to it.
Yeah. And you know what, Janáe, as you were talking and as you have been talking about the weight loss journey, I love too that it didn't happen overnight. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people, they feel that it has to happen overnight. And oh my goodness, if by next week, if you haven't lost 10 pounds when they get on that scale, they just give up. But we know that that is not the case. Because you started in 2019, correct? And we're in 2023 now. But and so it was a process, it was a journey, and it took time. You were consistent with it, and you created the habit and the goals so that you would be successful in this journey. So I really love how you're sharing that. And so we had a couple of comments that they really love the home gym. So let me say this. As we're talking about the home gym, tell us how some of the essential pieces that you used, as you were creating your home gym, and why. Because, some of us might need to go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
We need some direction.
Definitely, I think starting off, one of the things I started off with were just dumbbells or kettlebells, just so that way you can kind of do. I feel like they're so universal, because you can do those for your squats, for upper body, lower body, and I definitely utilize those. But I think finding kind of what works for you, because everyone's not into I really enjoy weightlifting. And I think that's because one of my friends, Sherry, she's actually in the comments. She actually introduced me to weightlifting. She's probably one of my only friends who I know that goes to the gym, and like, she a beast in the gym. Yeah. And intrigued, but I was also scared by that. So for me, now that I'm into it, that was important for me to start to build those elements in my home gym. So the barbell rack that I got, people ask me about it all the time. My barbell rack actually came from Walmart. I try and find it every time, but I think I caught it at an amazing deal because it has never been that price since, and I feel bad. But I would probably say it really depends on what your workouts look like. So if you are into yoga, stretching, then your area is going to look much different than mine. Yours is going to have more mats and more yoga stuff. So it's really finding the pieces that work for your workout. Now, if you're looking to do full body workouts, dumbbells, a mat, you don't even really need a bench because a lot of the bench work can be done on the floor. I just think that the key elements, I would probably say dumbbells and resistance bands. I will tell you guys right now, resistance bands, if you can X out the dumbbells and get resistance bands, those are amazing because you have the different strengths, the different tensions. And what's nice about resistance bands compared to like dumbbells is because it's more of a fluid movement, you actually you have less chance to be injured using those. And and it's also really good for lengthening the muscles, strengthening the muscles. And you can use those. You've seen them around people's, like around the hips or around the legs. You can get the long ones where you can do upper body work. So resistance bands, I think, are one of the top things that I would recommend for someone wanting to start their journey at home. And like, I don't have cardio equipment at home. I usually try and get my walk on, or I have a gym close by that I do that for. But other than that, that's the only thing I'm probably missing in my home gym that I'm hoping to get sometime soon.
Okay. Right. Okay. So for those that are looking to start and to get some things, what you highly recommend is resistance bands.
Resistance bands, because you can do all the dumbbell work, upper body, lower body, and it's good for strengthening, lengthening. I mean, and you can use it for so much, because if you can, like, you know, I'm not promoting anything, but like if you go to my IG, I do have an Amazon store where I put a lot of the stuff that I purchased. And so you can see some of the resistance bands that I've gotten, and they have like connections where you can put in the door. So now you can do door pulls, you can do face pulls, you can do lifts. I mean, you can get a full body workout with just resistance bands. And then from there, build up. Then you can add dumbbells, and then you can add your bar and your bench and all that. But honestly, you can start at home with some resistance bands and a good mat. That'd be good.
Oh, wow. Well, that is good to know. I mean, I have resistance bands. I have a lot of them.
Really?
I purchased them when COVID hit. So I think a lot of people
did. Yeah. Well, also too, dumbbells were out of stock.
Yes, there was so much stuff that was out of stock because people were creating home gyms at home. Okay, so that's good. That is good to know. Yes, great recommendation. So yes, Janáe is going to be sharing with us her IG information and other information, so y'all can go, and you can go to her Amazon store so that you can see some of the things that she has on her store, and you can purchase. Yeah, so you'll be letting us know about that a little bit later. I want to talk just briefly, Janáe, about the food, because I know that you're a trained chef.
Yes.
So we're probably over there whipping up all kinds of great stuff. So did you, and I know you mentioned you just had things in moderation and didn't like try to cut a whole bunch of stuff out, but how did you, in reference to, I guess, just watching and counting calories, did you do anything like that? Or did you just watch what you ate and ate in moderation?
The best thing that I did was actually tracking my food. So I had a food journal, and I would track everything. And the reason why I did that is because it actually allowed me to see, this is where I actually found my triggers, because I'm a journaler. I love journaling. I do. But being able to track my food and doing my just personal journaling allowed me to kind of see the correlation in regards to like when I was feeling really high or really low, my food intake would do the kind of dip and dive exactly kind of parallel to it. And so it was very interesting to be able to see that, because as you're seeing that, it's kind of like, oh, okay, well, you kind of, when you start to see it, you're able to, I guess, when you know better, you do better in that situation. And since I was physically able to see it, it did allow me to make some changes. Now, what I will say with that is, not only was I journaling or food tracking, but I would probably say, um, I didn't necessarily, I wouldn't say I counted calories. I would probably say me tracking the food allowed me to kind of see when I was overeating, or maybe some of the foods that I shouldn't have been eating. Because when you can look back at a week and see that you went to McDonald's 3 times and you ate chips, and it starts to play with you, especially if you're trying to do better. And it's like, seeing that allows you to kind of make the changes. So me tracking and seeing the food intake was much easier way for me to be able to make those adjustments. And so if you're able to track your food, I think that's great. If you're able to track your food with your calories or your macros, that's even better, because that just gives you even more of a bigger snapshot. I think I was probably lazy and I didn't really I didn't really think about the calories itself, because I think for me, kind of having a background in food, it was much easier for me to look at something and be like, okay, I know that was 1,000 calories. I know that was 900, because it's just being a chef. I just kind of know those things. So it was much easier for me to make those adjustments but I think for someone that is starting this journey, one of the best things you can do, I think, is tracking your food to start. And if you can track it with the calories, and then also track your water intake, all of those things play a huge part in your journey. A lot of people don't think about the water. The water is important. You see people talking about drink that gallon of water. When I tell you it assists in your weight loss, it assists in your food intake, because if you're drinking a gallon of water, guess what? You're not going to be as hungry, because you got a gallon of water in your belly.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But I would probably say, yeah, food tracking was very, very kind of important in the beginning of my journey. And from time to time, like I said, I would add calories or macros, but for the most part, it was more or less just seeing what I ate. Also allowed me, what was cool about that is I can go back to my journal and I can actually see the difference of, week 1 when I was eating chips and McDonald's or whatever, and then to week 30, it's kind of cool because it's like a salad and I had a cup of yogurt and it wasn't that I was dieting. It's just that shift took place because I was able to see the bad stuff that I was eating, and I was able to make those changes.
Yeah, I love that. And I love the food tracking, the journaling, because we know journaling is great. I love to journal too. And so to be able to track your food as you journal, that's good too. So you can go back and look. So I love that, especially for people that are just starting out, because sometimes this whole journey can be really overwhelming, right?
Yeah.
It can be overwhelming because you're thinking of all these different elements of what you have to do, and we know that we have to do them because of our health, but it still can be overwhelming that, okay, I got to do this, I can't do that, this and that, right? So to start small, I love all the tips that you gave, setting the mini goals, setting the realistic goals within those mini goals, and the food journal, and the resistance bands, just starting. All of those things are really simple and things that you can just start and you can build upon. So I really like that. And I think that that's some really great, helpful information for people that are just starting this journey.
Yeah.
And even some that may have already been in the journey and they may not have known, oh, I can do this. We have one comment from Brenda. She uses a food tracker. Yeah, she's a wellness health guru too. And she used one called My Fitness Pal.
Yeah.
She used that before. She said that was very helpful in tracking what she ate and how many calories that she was getting. So, yeah. So I like that. I like that.
Fitness Pal, I've used that one as well. And on top of doing a handwritten. And I agree with everything you just said, because I think for my own journey, it's always been about starting simple, because at 391 pounds, I wasn't about to go running no mile. I wasn't about to be lifting no, I needed to start small. And so I think starting there and then building upon that, and then making everything at that point, like, I realized, like, and it wasn't done on purpose, but I am realizing that everything was kind of done on a small scale this time around versus I think the last time everything was big. But I think the difference this time around was in the very beginning of this journey, I knew this was a lifestyle change. Like, I don't see myself not being who I am today 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Like, I will continue to eat healthy. I will continue to exercise because my body deserves it and my body needs it, because, just because I've lost weight doesn't mean I'm still a diabetic. Like, that didn't change that. Like, did the medication change? Am I off the medication? Yes. But am I still being monitored? Do I still need to check my blood sugar? Yes. So with that, I have to maintain this lifestyle so that way I can live a long and happy life. And so with that, I have to make small changes. I don't want to be the big change and then have this huge setback later. I'd rather just take those mini steps, because, hey, 5 mini steps, that gets me to the big step further up. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's so true. Listen, we have one last question. And y'all remember, we are having the after party on our IG page, because I know we have, some more. We have questions and comments that people may have. But one last question for me, I want to ask you, Janáe, is you talked about the journaling and the accountability. How important is it to hold the journaling, to hold you accountable without judging yourself?
Ooh, that is a good question. I found that to be very important, because I think that I was really critical of myself and I was very judgmental of myself. But I think that came from not being fully educated on this journey. I think it's just, when you see Instagram and you see all these people losing weight and you want to be like that too. And then you are tracking, you are journaling, and you kind of look at yourself and you're kind of feeling like, I'm not moving fast enough, or I'm not going fast enough. And you have to realize that you're moving at the pace you need to move at. And I think a lot of us forget that. Like, their journey was completely different. Like, the person that you may have found on Instagram today that looks great, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, probably didn't look like that. And so they went through a process just as you are going through a process. So, like, for me, I learned to not get discouraged, to not put myself down, but I also learned to start to love on myself in my journaling. And I think that was the difference, because I realized that for many years, a lot of my journaling and tracking and stuff like that was more for, I think, the bad moments when I was upset and, like, when I needed to put stuff out there. And then I think this journey has taught me to, like, love on me a little bit more. And so that journaling process became more of, instead of just putting down all the bad things just to kind of get it off your chest or off your mind, it also became about feeding my soul and feeding what I needed mentally, physically, spiritually. And I think that played a huge role. So I would honestly say, for anyone who is on this journey, journaling is such an important part, because it allows you to see parts of yourself that you may not even know is there. But that you have to take the time to sit down and just write. Just journal. Don't think about it. Just put pen to paper and do what you need to do. Just write it out, because you'll look up and I'm not gonna lie, it's not the easiest thing for anybody who's not into journaling. Because when I first started, it wasn't easy, because it's like, well, what do I say? And I'll be sitting there doodling my name, or like, because I wasn't sure what to say. But like, over time, I just slowly started to just drop anything and everything, and then it just became easier and easier. And now I can feel that if I don't journal for a few days, I can feel it, because I feel like I have all this stuff in my head and on my heart that's just there that I need to get out. And it's so funny, because when I get that out, not only do I feel lighter, but that also plays a huge role in what I do next. So if I'm going to work out, that's a great workout. Or if I'm going to cook a meal, I'm probably going to cook a better, healthier meal, because when you're able to journal and do that expression, it just allows you to be better in the world. I think it just, at least that's how I see it.
Yeah. I agree. I love it. I love it. Oh my goodness. Our time is up. Like it seems like we never have enough time. We just
That went quick.
I know the information is so good. That's why you all have to follow us. You just have to follow us on over to our IG page. We are headed over there um, as soon as we hang up here because our time is up. But Janáe, thank you so much for being on our show, our very special guest for tonight, our very first show of the year, and you are our very first guest. And so, thank you. I feel that we hit the ground running with some really great information for everyone that was helpful that they can put to use. And so that's what we really want is the information we put out, you're able to put it to use. So Janáe, really quickly, if you could just tell us how to get in contact with you.
All right. Well, I am on IG. You can follow me at this Curvy Girls Fitness. I do try and post daily, and I do try and do inspirational workouts and tips and advice and all that good stuff. But you can also find me at thiscurvygirlsfitness.com. And on that site, you'll be able to check out my YouTube channel, my podcast, and everything. So find me on IG. Find me on my website at thiscurvygirls.com. And then yeah, I hope to see you there. I really appreciate it. And thank you guys so much for this opportunity. And this has been such an amazing day. And this is a beautiful way to start the new year.
Absolutely. I agree. Thank you all again so much for tuning in. Y'all follow us. We're getting ready to hop on Instagram. I said IG. So for those of you that don't know, IG is Instagram for our after party on our page, Jackie O. So be sure that you follow us there and we'll see you next month. Bye.
Bye.